There is a principle I would like you to consider, my dear. You are not creating your future entirely from nothing. You are learning to tune in to the future version of yourself you desire and bring more of that possibility into the way you live today. Think of frequency as a gentle metaphor for alignment, not as a magical force that removes choice, effort, or reality. Your thoughts create direction. Your emotions influence how you participate, and your repeated actions shape the path beneath your feet. When these begin moving together, a new future becomes more possible. You are not forcing the universe to obey you or taking anything that belongs to someone else. A loving future respects the freedom, dignity, and well-being of everyone involved. Take a quiet breath and affirm, "A beautiful future is available to me, and I begin meeting it through the choices I make now." Your future self already exists as a possibility within the life you are living. Perhaps there is a version of you who feels calmer with money, speaks more honestly in relationships, cares for the body with greater consistency, or uses a gift that has remained hidden. This person is not a stranger waiting in some distant world. Their qualities are present in you as seeds. Confidence may exist as the willingness to send one email while doubt is still present. Peace may begin as the decision not to continue one unnecessary argument. Prosperity may begin as 10 honest minutes spent understanding your resources. Healthy love may begin when you stop calling confusion commitment. The future is not only something that eventually happens to you, it is also something you begin rehearsing through ordinary choices. This does not mean that every circumstance is under your control. Other people have their own freedom. Life contains uncertainty, and practical conditions matter. Visualization cannot guarantee that one specific person will choose you or that one exact event will occur on your preferred timetable. Your future self is not created by controlling someone else's future. Instead, become clear about the essence of what you desire: mutual love, meaningful contribution, stability, freedom, creativity, or peace. Then ask how you can embody those qualities without violating another person's rights. You may open yourself to loving partnership without demanding a particular person. You may pursue success without harming, manipulating, or diminishing anyone. What is truly good for you need not require another person to lose themselves. Many people ask, "What do I want to have?" They imagine the house, relationship, income, recognition, or opportunity. These desires are not wrong, but another question takes you deeper. Who is the person capable of living that life well? If you received the opportunity today, what qualities would help you sustain it? Would you need focus, emotional steadiness, financial wisdom, communication, stronger boundaries, or the ability to receive support? Do not use these questions to declare yourself unready or unworthy. Use them to reveal where the future is inviting present growth. Life is not only preparing the result, you are preparing the inner structure that can welcome the result without becoming overwhelmed or losing yourself. Imagine the future version of you waking on an ordinary morning. Do not picture only the day when everyone applauds. See how this person begins a Tuesday when there is no audience. How do they speak to themselves before looking at a screen? How do they respond when a plan changes? How do they use time, care for the body, and communicate a need? Notice that the future self is not perfect. They may still feel fear, sadness, or uncertainty. The difference is that these feelings no longer make every decision. This person pauses, listens, and chooses according to deeper values. They have become someone they can trust. Affirm, I am growing into the person who can receive good things and care for them wisely. Time changes when identity changes, because identity influences what you repeatedly choose. If you continue introducing yourself as someone who always fails, you may avoid the very experiences that would help confidence grow. If you begin saying, I am someone who learns and returns, one setback no longer has to end the journey. A new identity is not an empty label pasted over old pain. It needs evidence. You create that evidence whenever you keep a promise, protect a boundary, practice a skill, or choose a kinder thought after making a mistake. One action does not transform the entire future, but repeated actions change direction. The future self comes closer each time the present self behaves in loving agreement with them. One obstacle is the old self-image that says, I am not the kind of person who can have that. Perhaps this conclusion was formed through rejection, comparison, family expectations, or one painful failure. It may feel true because it has been repeated for years, yet a familiar thought is not a permanent law. Ask, who taught me this? And does it still deserve authority? Then choose a believable bridge. I may not know how yet, but I am willing to learn. You do not have to leap into absolute confidence. Willingness is movement. Let the new self-image begin as permission to investigate what fear previously rejected. Another obstacle is attachment to one method and one timetable. You may know the feeling you desire, but insist that only one job, one person, or one path can provide it. Then attention becomes so narrow that you cannot recognize another form of goodness. Be clear about the essence and flexible about the route. Make plans, prepare carefully, and take action, but leave enough room for new information. Say, my intention is clear, and I allow life to reveal a path that may be wiser than the one I can currently see. Flexibility is not giving up. It is refusing to turn your plan into a cage. Visualization can also become painful when it is practiced entirely from lack. You picture the desired life and spend the whole time noticing that it is absent. You finish feeling more desperate than before and begin checking the outside world for immediate proof. If this happens, make the image smaller and more emotionally accessible. Instead of constructing a perfect 10-year future, imagine one representative moment, paying a bill calmly, speaking confidently in a meeting, receiving consistent kindness, or waking with a sense of purpose. Find one gentle feeling beneath the image: relief, steadiness, gratitude, or freedom. Then ask where a small portion of that feeling can be practiced now. The future becomes a bridge rather than an escape from the present. The greatest block, however, may be imagining a new self while refusing every new action. Visualization is a rehearsal, not a replacement for participation. If you see yourself as confident, give confidence one visible form. Ask the question, submit the work, or express the need. If you imagine prosperity, respect the resources already in your hands and develop something valuable. If you envision health and peace, offer the body one appropriate act of care and seek professional support when needed. Your subconscious listens to words and images, but it also observes your behavior. An action says, "I believe this possibility enough to meet it halfway." Do not try to become your entire future self in one day. Choose one quality and one action. Ask, what would the calmer version of me do during the next 10 minutes? Perhaps they would breathe before replying. Ask, what would the self-respecting version choose? Perhaps they would say no without a long apology. Ask, what would the prepared version do? Perhaps they would practice instead of waiting for motivation. These small choices are not insignificant. They are votes for a new identity. Over time, what once felt like acting differently begins to feel natural because you have created real evidence of change. Take one final breath and say, "My future is not a place I chase. It is a possibility I begin meeting now." I release the old identity that says good things are not for me. I remain clear about what I desire and open about how it arrives. I imagine from love rather than desperation. I support my vision with honest action. I create only what respects the freedom and well-being of others. I am becoming ready to receive the life that agrees with my deepest values. In the next part, we will practice this together. You will meet your future self, listen to their wisdom, feel the qualities they embody, and return with one clear action that begins bringing that future into your life today. Now, my dear, let us practice together. Before we begin, make sure you are in a place where you can safely relax for a little while. Do not do this exercise while driving or while doing anything that requires your full attention. Sit in a comfortable chair, lie down, or choose any position in which your body feels supported. You do not need perfect silence, and you do not need to create a special spiritual atmosphere. You only need a few moments in which you are willing to become present. If closing your eyes feels comfortable, you may close them. If it does not, soften your gaze and look at one peaceful point in the room. This is your exercise, and you are free to adjust it at any time. Nothing will be forced. Nothing must appear. And there is no perfect experience you need to produce. Begin by noticing the support beneath you. Feel the chair, the bed, or the floor receiving some of your weight. Let yourself be held instead of holding yourself up through unnecessary tension. Bring your attention to your shoulders and allow them to lower a little. You do not need to push them down. Simply let them know that they are no longer required to carry the entire future. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Allow the space between your eyebrows to become smoother. Notice your jaw and let your teeth separate slightly. Let your tongue rest gently in your mouth. Take one easy breath in, and as you breathe out, imagine releasing the pressure to do this exercise correctly. Now bring your attention to your chest. Notice whether it feels open, tight, warm, cool, heavy, or neutral. Whatever you find is allowed to be here. You are not scanning the body to discover another problem to fix. You are meeting yourself with curiosity. Let the next breath move naturally through your chest without trying to make it deep. Then notice your abdomen. Perhaps it has been holding worry, anticipation, or the effort of staying prepared. Place a hand there if that feels comforting. Silently say, "You do not have to know everything right now." Let the abdomen soften one small degree. A very small release is enough. Bring your awareness down through your arms, hands, hips, legs, and feet. Notice whether your hands are gripping anything. Let the fingers uncurl. Allow your legs to become heavier against the support beneath them. Feel your feet, even if they are resting rather than touching the floor. Imagine that all the unfinished tasks, unanswered questions, and future plans can remain outside this moment. They will still be available later. You are not abandoning your responsibilities. You are creating a quiet space from which you may see them more clearly. Take another slow breath and affirm, "For these moments, I give myself permission to rest, imagine, and listen." If difficult emotions or uncomfortable memories arise at any point, remember that you are in charge of the practice. You may open your eyes, look around the room, move your body, or stop completely. You can imagine the future from a greater distance rather than stepping fully into the scene. You can also choose a very simple future moment, such as feeling peaceful in your own room. This exercise is intended to support reflection, not to force you into distress. If visualization is difficult for you, there is nothing wrong with your mind. You may sense words, ideas, emotions, or bodily impressions instead of clear pictures. All of these are valid ways of imagining. Let your experience take the form that feels most natural. We are going to enter a quieter state together. I will count slowly from 3 to 1. With each number, allow your attention to move away from the noise of the day and toward the peaceful space within you. You are not going into a trance, and you remain free to choose and observe. The counting is simply a gentle signal that you are becoming more focused. Take one comfortable breath. 3. Let the outside world become a little less urgent. You can return to it later. 2. Feel your body supported, your face softer, and your hands at rest. 1. Allow the mind to become receptive, quiet enough to notice what wishes to emerge. Now imagine that you are standing at the beginning of a beautiful path. It may be a path through a garden, along a beach, through a forest, or across a peaceful field. Do not struggle to make the image vivid. Let the first environment that feels safe and pleasant be enough. Notice the light around you. Perhaps it is the warm light of morning, the golden light of late afternoon, or a soft glow without a visible source. The path represents time, but you do not need to hurry along it. You are not escaping the present. You are allowing the present to communicate with one meaningful future possibility. Feel the ground beneath your imagined feet and notice that the path is ready whenever you are. Choose a point in your future. It may be 6 months from now, 1 year from now, or another milestone that feels meaningful and emotionally manageable. Do not choose a date because you intend to force a result by then. The time point is only a frame that helps the mind focus. If 1 year feels too distant, choose 3 months. If a specific date creates pressure, imagine simply a future season in which I am living with greater alignment. You may allow this future to represent the natural result of many loving, responsible choices. It need not be perfect, and it does not need to include everything you have ever desired. Choose one area or one quality you are ready to explore. Perhaps you wish to meet the version of yourself who feels more peaceful. Perhaps you want to see the person who has developed confidence in work, greater stability with money, a kinder relationship with the body, or healthier standards in love. Choose an essence rather than trying to control every external detail. You might select freedom, security, creativity, mutual love, vitality, or meaningful contribution. Let the word appear quietly in your mind. This quality will become the guiding light of the scene. Say inwardly, I am open to meeting the version of me who lives more fully in this quality. There is no need to make any promise about a specific person or outcome. Begin walking along the path at a gentle pace. With every few steps, imagine moving forward through days in which small choices are being made. You see yourself resting when rest is needed, learning what supports your goals, and returning after imperfect days. You do not have to watch every event. Simply sense that time is passing and growth is taking place through ordinary life. Perhaps boundaries become clearer. Perhaps a skill becomes stronger. Perhaps you ask for help instead of doing everything alone. You are not floating magically toward the future. You are arriving through repeated choices, support, learning, and the willingness to begin again. Ahead of you, imagine a doorway, an arch, a gate, or another gentle marker. Beyond it is the future scene you have chosen. Pause before entering. Place your imagined hand over your heart and remind yourself that this is a possibility, not a prediction or a command. You do not have to make the scene happen exactly as it appears. You are exploring the qualities, identity, and actions that may help create a life more aligned with your values. Say, I enter this scene with curiosity. I receive only what is loving, ethical, and useful for me. When you feel ready, step through. At first, allow the future scene to form without directing every detail. Where are you? Perhaps you are in a home, a workplace, a studio, a garden, or another ordinary setting. Maybe you are walking somewhere you love, or sitting at a table at the end of a meaningful day. Notice whether you are indoors or outdoors. Is it morning, afternoon, or evening? What kind of light fills the space? Is it bright and energizing, warm and peaceful, or soft and restful? Do not judge the first image that appears. A simple scene is often more powerful than an elaborate one. Now step fully into the scene and look through your own eyes. You are not watching yourself from across the room as though you are a character in a film. You are inside the future moment. Look down and notice your hands. What are they doing? Perhaps they are holding a cup, writing, creating, cooking, working, or resting comfortably. Notice your posture. Are your shoulders more relaxed? Is your breathing steadier? Do your feet feel grounded? Let the body communicate the identity of this future self before the mind tries to explain it. Look around slowly. What do you see directly in front of you? Notice colors, shapes, objects, and the arrangement of the space. Perhaps the room is simple but cared for. Perhaps there is evidence of work you have completed or a skill you have developed. Maybe there are books, plants, tools, photographs, or small signs of a life that reflects your values. Do not focus on luxury unless luxury is genuinely meaningful to the essence you chose. Look for alignment. What in this environment tells you that you have learned to treat your life with greater respect? What has changed because your inner standards changed? Listen to the sounds in the scene. Perhaps you hear quiet music, birds, distant traffic, a familiar voice, or the natural sounds of a peaceful room. If other people are present, notice the quality of the interaction rather than trying to force a particular person into the image. Do the voices feel respectful and warm? Is there room for honesty? Are you able to remain yourself in their presence? If you are alone, notice whether the solitude feels nourishing rather than abandoned. Perhaps the most important sound is your own voice speaking calmly and clearly. Listen to the tone. This future self does not need to shout to know that their words matter. Bring attention to the sense of touch. What are your hands resting upon? What texture can you feel? Perhaps it is the smooth surface of a desk, the warmth of a cup, soft clothing, fresh air on the skin, or the hand of someone trustworthy. Notice the temperature of the room. Feel how your body occupies the space. You are not shrinking or apologizing for being present. You belong in this moment. Allow yourself to receive one physical impression of safety or steadiness. It may be only a slight warmth in your chest or a softer exhalation. That is enough. Notice whether there is a scent in the scene. Fresh air, tea, flowers, food, paper, wood, or something else that feels comforting. If taste belongs in the moment, notice that too. Perhaps you are eating something nourishing or enjoying a simple drink without rushing. The purpose of engaging the senses is not to make the visualization perfect. The senses help the possibility feel more like lived experience and less like a distant picture. Choose only the details that come naturally. One sound, one texture, and one color may be all you need. Now notice what you are doing. Is this a moment after completing meaningful work? Are you speaking honestly in a relationship? Are you managing something that once overwhelmed you? Perhaps you are taking care of your body, organizing your resources, creating, teaching, learning, or resting without guilt. Let the action represent the identity you are becoming. If you desire confidence, perhaps you are expressing an idea clearly. If you desire prosperity, perhaps you are reviewing finances calmly and making wise decisions. If you desire healthy love, perhaps you are participating in a respectful conversation where both people can speak and listen. Do not picture only the reward. Notice the capacity that allows you to live with it. If success is present, see how you remain grounded while receiving recognition. If love is present, notice how you maintain your voice, interests, friendships, and boundaries. If prosperity is present, observe how carefully you manage resources rather than spending to prove something. If greater well-being is present, notice the supportive routines and appropriate care that are part of the life. The future self is not merely someone who has received. This person has learned how to hold, protect, appreciate, and use what has been received. Now turn your attention away from external details and feel the identity within the scene. What is the central emotion? Perhaps it is peace, confidence, sufficiency, freedom, belonging, or gratitude. Do not force a strong emotional experience. A quiet sense of relief is enough. Ask your body, how does this version of me breathe? Let your breath follow that rhythm for one moment. Ask, how do they hold their shoulders? Allow your posture to reflect one small part of it. Ask, how do they speak inwardly after making a mistake? Listen for a kinder and more responsible voice. Perhaps this future self feels peaceful because they no longer try to control every outcome. Perhaps confidence has grown because they repeatedly acted before doubt disappeared. Maybe the sense of abundance comes from appreciating and caring for what is present, not only from a larger number. Freedom may come from releasing a role that required constant performance. Love may feel different because it is no longer being used to rescue an abandoned inner life. Let the emotion reveal its foundation. Ask, what has this person learned that allows them to feel this way? You may sense the answer before words arrive. Perhaps they have learned that a boundary does not make them unloving. Perhaps they have stopped measuring worth through productivity. Maybe they trust that one rejection cannot decide the future. They may have learned to receive help, rest, and appreciation without guilt. Perhaps they no longer return to people who repeatedly ask them to betray themselves. Whatever the insight, let it remain simple. You do not need an entire philosophy. One honest realization can become a bridge between this scene and your present life. Now allow the scene to widen slightly. Sense the future version of you nearby. You may see this person standing before you, or you may simply feel their presence as a wiser aspect of yourself. Observe how they stand. Are they rigid, or are they steady and able to breathe? Notice their face. It does not have to look younger, more beautiful, or more perfect. Look for ease, self-respect, and presence. Notice the eyes. Perhaps they carry the softness of someone who has survived without becoming permanently hardened. Observe how this future self moves. There may be less rushing and less need to prove. Their pace is not necessarily slow, but it is intentional. They know when to act and when to pause. They do not run toward every open door merely because they fear it is the last one. They can consider an opportunity, ask questions, and choose what aligns. Notice how they occupy the space without trying to dominate it. They are neither shrinking nor performing. Their body quietly communicates, I have a right to be here. Listen to the way this person speaks. Perhaps their voice is warm but clear. They no longer soften every truth until the truth disappears. They do not use harshness to imitate strength. When they say yes, the yes contains willingness. When they say no, the no protects something meaningful. They ask directly rather than expecting people to guess. They can admit uncertainty without losing dignity. They can say, I need help, I need time, or this is not right for me. Their honesty has become one of the places where peace lives. Notice how your future self makes decisions. They may still feel fear, But fear is no longer allowed to make every choice. They gather facts, listen to intuition, consider consequences, and return to their values. They do not require perfect certainty. They trust their ability to learn and adjust. A decision is no longer a courtroom verdict about their worth. It is a choice made with the information available now. If new information appears, they respond rather than humiliating themselves for not knowing it earlier. Observe how this person cares for themselves. Look at the ordinary things. They may sleep before exhaustion becomes collapse. They may choose nourishment, movement, quiet, and appropriate professional care. They protect time for work that matters and for relationships that are mutual. They keep their environment supportive enough to breathe. They do not make personal care a reward for perfect productivity. Care is part of the structure of the life. It says, this body and this mind are important participants in everything I hope to create. Notice how they relate to other people. They may be loving, generous, and open without becoming responsible for everyone's emotions. They allow others to make their own choices. They do not chase clarity from someone committed to confusion. They appreciate consistent kindness and no longer find emotional unavailability irresistibly romantic. They can forgive without restoring access where safety and accountability are absent. Their love includes themselves. This balance has made connection more honest rather than less tender. Now approach the future version of you. You do not need to feel intimidated by them. They are not here to judge the present you for taking too long. They understand everything you are learning because their wisdom grew from your willingness to begin. Imagine that they look at you with recognition and tenderness. Perhaps they smile. Perhaps they place a hand over their heart or reach out to you. Notice that there is no disappointment in their eyes. They know that you are not late. The path between you exists because you are already taking the first steps. Stand or sit with this future self in the scene. Let there be a moment of quiet before asking anything. Feel what it is like to be in the presence of someone who knows your whole journey and does not condemn you. This is still you, not a separate authority who controls your fate. It is a symbolic way of contacting your values, hopes, intuition, and growing wisdom. You are not required to obey every image or sentence that appears. Receive the experience with curiosity and later examine any guidance through reality, ethics, and practical consequences. When you are ready, ask the first question. What do I need to release? Then become quiet. Do not hurry to answer intellectually. A word may appear: shame, comparison, control, an old relationship, or the need to be perfect. You may see an image, remember a habit, or feel tension in one part of the body. Perhaps nothing appears immediately. That is all right. Silence can also be an answer, asking you to wait and listen more gently. Give the question enough room to breathe. If an answer comes, do not turn it into an order to make a drastic decision today. Ask what the message means in practical and compassionate terms. Release control may mean stop checking for a response tonight, not abandon every plan. Release the relationship may mean begin acknowledging the truth and seeking support, not place yourself in danger through a sudden confrontation. Release shame may mean speak to yourself differently after a mistake and repair what you can. Let wisdom become grounded. True guidance can survive careful examination. Now ask the second question. What do I need to begin? Again, wait without force. Perhaps the future self shows you a notebook, a pair of walking shoes, a phone call, or a clear conversation. Maybe the answer is a routine, a skill, a boundary, a period of rest, or the willingness to receive help. Notice whether the answer is surprisingly ordinary. A desired future is often built through unglamorous beginnings. The future self may not ask you to revolutionize your life by tomorrow. They may ask you to begin giving 10 minutes to what you say matters. If many ideas appear, ask which one belongs first. You do not need to start everything. The mind sometimes responds to inspiration by creating a list so large that no action occurs. Let the future self simplify it. Perhaps they hold up one finger or point toward one object. Let yourself hear. Begin here. A clear beginning creates more power than scattered enthusiasm. You may write down the other ideas later, but only one needs to become today's commitment. Ask the third question. What is the most important small step I can take now? Emphasize the word small. The step should belong to your present resources, not to an imaginary life in which you have unlimited time and energy. It might be sending one message, researching one course, clearing one workspace, preparing one meal, or going to bed earlier. It may be refusing one invitation that contradicts your priorities. It could be asking for professional guidance, creating a simple budget, or spending 15 minutes practicing a skill. Let the action be specific enough that you will know when it has been completed. Wait for a message from the future self. It may arrive as one sentence, one image, or one feeling. Perhaps you hear, "Stop rushing. Let yourself be seen. Your health matters. Finish what you started." Or, "You are allowed to choose differently." Perhaps they give you an object symbolizing the message, a key, a seed, a book, a light, or a compass. Do not worry about interpreting it perfectly. Receive whatever comes and let the meaning unfold over time. If nothing comes, imagine the future self simply saying, "Keep going with love." The next step will become clear. Look at this person once more and notice what they are not asking you to do. They are not asking you to hate who you are today. They are not asking you to earn worthiness through exhaustion. They are not telling you to manipulate another person or take something that violates someone else's freedom. They are not promising that every event will follow your preferred schedule. Their message is aligned with dignity, responsibility, love, and truth. The future self invites you to become more fully yourself, not to turn into a performance designed to impress the world. Ask whether there is an old belief the future self no longer carries. Perhaps it is, I am not the kind of person who succeeds. I must handle everything alone, or I have to be chosen before I can feel valuable. Imagine the future self writing this belief on a piece of paper and placing it into your hands. Look at the words and recognize that they represent something learned, not your permanent identity. You do not need to destroy the paper in anger. Fold it gently and place it on the ground. Say, this belief may have shaped me, but it no longer has to direct me. Now ask, what belief took its place? Perhaps the future self says, I can learn. I am allowed to receive. I trust myself to choose. Or, my worth is not decided by one result. Let the new belief be believable. It does not need to promise perfection. It should create movement while remaining connected to truth. Repeat it slowly and notice how your body responds. If the statement feels too far away, soften it with willingness. I am learning. I am becoming. Or I am open to the possibility. A bridge thought can carry you farther than an affirmation your whole body rejects. Ask your future self how they handled the days when progress seemed invisible. Perhaps they tell you that they stopped measuring growth only through large external results. They noticed calmer reactions, clearer boundaries, and the ability to return after difficult days. They learned that consistency was not never missing. It was refusing to turn one missed day into abandonment. They allowed rest to be part of the process. They asked for help when the burden became too heavy. Listen closely. Your future may depend less on dramatic motivation than on a kinder relationship with returning. Ask how they learned to receive what they once desired. Perhaps they practiced accepting compliments instead of dismissing them. They allowed trustworthy people to help. They developed the skills and emotional capacity needed for the opportunity. They stopped assuming that every good experience would be taken away. They remained present with joy for a few seconds longer. Receiving became safer because they no longer treated goodness as a test they might fail. Let this wisdom reach you. I do not only prepare to achieve, I prepare to receive, sustain, and enjoy. Ask what they wish you understood about timing. Perhaps they say, you were not behind. Some periods were for learning, others for healing, and others for recognizing what no longer fit. Certain delays protected you from entering something before you could hold it wisely. Other delays were simply part of human circumstances, not a judgment from the universe. The future self may remind you that time was not healed by rushing. It was used well when you became present and completed the step available that day. Let the message release some of the pressure you have been carrying. Now imagine asking, what did I worry about that never needed so much of my life? The future self may smile gently. Perhaps you spent too much time trying to control what others thought, predicting every outcome, or comparing your timing with someone else's. Maybe you believed one mistake would define everything. The future self does not mock these fears. They understand why you had them, but they show you how much energy became available when you stopped feeding them every day. Notice where that recovered energy went. Health, creativity, meaningful work, honest relationships, and peace. Ask, what did I finally give myself permission to do? Maybe the answer is rest, speak, leave, begin, receive, or change direction. Perhaps you gave yourself permission to be imperfect in public. Maybe you allowed your work to be seen before it felt flawless. Perhaps you stopped waiting for everyone's agreement. Let the answer reveal where permission is needed now. You do not need to use permission recklessly. You still consider responsibilities and consequences. But you stop using other people's possible disappointment as the only ruler of your life. Now allow the future self to tell you what they appreciate about you today. This may be unfamiliar, so remain open. Perhaps they appreciate that you kept searching for a kinder way. They may thank you for surviving a season they now understand differently. They may be grateful that you set one boundary, asked one question, or began again after believing you had failed. Let them recognize qualities you overlook: courage, tenderness, curiosity, persistence, honesty, or the willingness to heal. You are not only receiving instructions from the future, you are receiving gratitude for the person who made that future possible. Imagine the future self placing a hand over your heart, if that feels safe and comforting. Feel warmth moving gently through the chest. They say, you do not have to become me all at once. Carry one quality back with you. Choose that quality now. It may be peace, confidence, discipline, freedom, self-respect, openness, or trust. See the word as a soft light resting within your heart. This quality is not waiting in the future to become available. A small expression of it can be lived today. The future scene simply helped you recognize it. Ask how this quality behaves during an ordinary moment. If the quality is peace, perhaps it pauses before replying. If it is confidence, perhaps it asks the question despite uncertainty. If it is discipline, perhaps it completes a short commitment without waiting for motivation. If it is freedom, perhaps it declines what no longer fits. If it is self-respect, perhaps it stops explaining a reasonable boundary. Give the quality of visible action. This is how the future enters the present without becoming fantasy. Now thank the future self for meeting you. You are not saying goodbye forever. You may return to this symbolic meeting whenever it supports you, but you do not need to consult it obsessively. Your present life deserves your attention. Imagine the future self saying, "Do not stay here trying to escape today. Go back and create the path through the way you live now." Let that message become clear. Visualization offers direction. Action builds the bridge. Before leaving, look around the future scene once more. Choose one sensory detail to carry with you. It might be the warmth of the light, the sound of your confident voice, the feeling of your feet on the ground, or the texture of the symbolic object you received. This detail can become an anchor. When fear tells you that the future is impossible, you may remember it and ask what one present action agrees with that possibility. The anchor is not proof that a specific event must occur. It is a reminder of the identity and values you are choosing. Walk back toward the doorway through which you entered. As you cross it, imagine bringing the chosen quality, message, and small action with you. You are not leaving the wisdom behind in a dream. It is becoming part of your present awareness. Notice the path before you. You may sense that the distance between current and future self is made of many ordinary days. This does not have to discourage you. Every day contains opportunities to practice the qualities you saw. You do not have to leap across the distance. You walk it. Begin returning along the path at a comfortable pace. With each step, feel yourself moving back toward the present while keeping what was useful. You may let any unnecessary details fade. The scene does not need to remain perfectly clear. The central message is enough. Repeat it inwardly if you received one. Hold the symbolic object in your imagination or feel the chosen quality within your chest. You are returning with one practical commitment, not an impossible demand. In a moment, I will count from 1 to 3. With each number, bring more awareness back to your physical body and the room around you. 1. Feel the support beneath you again. Notice your hands, legs, and feet. 2. Take a slightly fuller breath and listen to the sounds in the present room. Move your fingers and toes if that feels comfortable. 3. Open your eyes when you are ready, letting the light enter slowly. Look around and name where you are. You are here, in the present, which is the only place from which the future can be lovingly created. Do not stand up immediately if you feel deeply relaxed. Give your body a moment to adjust. Take a drink of water if one is available. Then write down what you remember. Record the scene, the quality you felt, the answers to the 3 questions, and the one small action you chose. Do not worry about making the notes elegant. A few words are enough. Writing helps prevent a useful insight from becoming another beautiful experience that never enters daily life. Keep the message simple and actionable. Now examine the guidance with grounded wisdom. Does the action respect your values, safety, resources, and the rights of others? Is it specific and realistically available? If the message suggests a major life decision, do not assume the visualization alone is sufficient evidence. Gather facts, seek informed advice, and allow time for discernment. A future self exercise can illuminate desires and patterns, but it does not replace practical judgment, medical care, financial guidance, or honest communication. Let imagination and wisdom cooperate. Choose when you will complete the small action. Someday is not a plan. Perhaps you will do it before lunch, after work, or tomorrow morning. Put it in your calendar or prepare the materials now. If the action is too large, reduce it. Instead of change careers, research one role or update one section of your resume. Instead of heal my relationship, write down the need you want to communicate. Instead of become healthy, schedule an appointment or take an appropriate walk. Let your first action be a door, not the entire house. For the next several days, practice embodying the chosen quality for 1 minute at a time. Ask in the morning, how would my future self bring this quality into today? During a challenge, ask, what response agrees with the person I am becoming? At night, notice one moment when you acted in alignment. You do not need to pretend you have already achieved everything. You are simply allowing the identity to become familiar through evidence. Each small action says, this possibility has begun. If the old identity returns, greet it without hostility. It may say, people like us do not live that way, or you will fail again. Recognize it as a familiar protector, not the ruler of the future. Answer, I understand why you are afraid. We are taking one safe and responsible step. Then continue. You do not need to win a long inner argument. The new action will communicate more clearly than endless debate. Let behavior teach the mind what is becoming possible. Return to this exercise occasionally, not compulsively. You may meet the same future self and receive a deeper layer of the message, or the scene may change as your values become clearer. Do not use the practice to check whether the future is coming quickly enough. That turns visualization into another expression of lack. Use it to reconnect with direction, identity, and the next action. The purpose is not to live mentally in tomorrow. It is to return more fully to today. Take one final breath and place your hand over your heart. Repeat slowly. My future self is a loving possibility, not a demand for perfection. I release the need to create everything at once. I welcome the qualities that support the life I desire. I listen for wisdom without forcing an answer. I respect reality, the freedom of others, and the practical steps that belong to me. I carry one clear message into today. I take one small action, and I allow repeated loving choices to shape the road ahead. Continue gently. I am not chasing a distant version of myself. I am building a relationship with the person I am becoming. I keep the wisdom and release the pressure. I imagine from love rather than lack. I prepare to receive without losing myself. I trust that every honest action changes my direction. The future begins in the thought I choose, the promise I keep, the boundary I honor, and the step I take now. Let these words settle without effort. My dear, the future self you met is not standing above you, impatiently asking why you have not arrived. They are standing beside you, grateful that you finally became willing to listen. You do not owe them a perfect day. Offer them one truthful choice. You do not need to know every mile of the road. Carry the light for the next step, and whenever you forget, return to the message you received. Keep going with love. You are already becoming. My dear, imagination is not a place where you escape from your present life. It is a loving space where you begin rehearsing the life you wish to create. See the future clearly, but do not grip it with fear. Feel the peace, confidence, freedom, or love you desire, and then bring one small expression of that feeling into today. Let the image guide your direction. Let your values guide your choices, and let your actions build the bridge. You do not have to become your future self overnight. Every promise you keep, every boundary you honor, and every courageous step you take brings that possibility closer. Visualize with an open heart, act with grounded wisdom, and allow life to unfold in ways that respect both you and others. Before you leave, place your hand over your heart and affirm, I see the life I desire. I feel its qualities awakening within me. I am becoming the person who can receive, sustain, and enjoy it. I begin now, and I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you could meet your future self today, what is the one message you most hope they would give you? Write it below as a loving declaration to the person you are becoming.